and welcome to Popcorn and Patriarchy,
where we maraud through the mists of feminist film.
Hello. Welcome back if you're returning, welcome if you're brand new, and welcome if you've somehow found yourself here because someone forced you to listen.
Can happen.
I am Esme and Joe, actor, producer, founder of Evolve Productions, and this is Popcorn and Patriarchy.
I'm Joe Coates, I'm an actor creator.
This is a podcast where we use film as the entry point, but really we're talking about power, people, and the stuff that lingers after the credits roll. So gender, politics, identity, culture, and occasionally why something just felt a little bit off and you couldn't quite put your finger on it.
Something was off there.
And if you're listening and thinking, oh, that's been on my mind too, we do take submissions for our Creative Hangup Hotline, where you can submit your overthinking spiral, your I'm not good enough moment via the link in our bio or in the description of this episode. We'll read them out or play them out on the podcast. We'll talk about them, and sometimes we even take the advice for ourselves. And if you want to become an official bestie, our Patreon has extra episodes, behind the scenes tea, and after the credits chats, where we get into stuff that we don't say on the main show.
The nitty gritty.
It's no pressure, but if you want it, there's even the free tier where you can get involved with our post-show chats. And of course, it would mean the world to us if you could like, comment, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. So here's how this works. Today we are reviewing Joe's Creative Challenge, inspired by the film we reviewed last episode, which was Sinners 2025. There's no pressure, no expectations, but I will be judging and critiquing. And next episode, we will be back to film reviews and we'll be looking at Don't Look Up.
Amazing.
We'd like to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Ivan Weiss Photography. If you're an actor looking for a professional, creative look to elevate your brand, Ivan Weiss is a London-based portrait powerhouse who has completely thrown out the traditional playbook to create hyper-realistic portraits that feel like classic fine art rather than commercial headshots. From capturing editorial features of hit actors like Troy Baker to photographing major industry events like the Black British Theatre Awards, Ivan has built a legendary brand for his utterly fascinating work. His tailored sessions are designed around collaboration, client comfort, and displaying the most authentic version of you through his unique styles. Ivan's private studio is located in central London, and booking a session is absolutely seamless. Whether you need corporate portraits or an actor portfolio, his booking details can be found on the episode description or on screen if you're watching on YouTube. You can use the link in the episode description with the code POPCORN15 to get 15% off of your booking. So upgrade your professional image today with Ivan Weiss Photography. So let's get into it.
Let's do it. Right.
So could you refresh us? What was your creative challenge?
So I was given the task to create a late night voice note, something. A little voice message, late night spooky settings, sort of about someone who's done the wrong thing, but for the right reasons in their mind, at least, which does fit into the theme of Sinners. And I have gone further with the theme of Sinners when I've entered the somewhat,
of course, you have,
supernatural. I always try to stick fairly close to the source material. And yeah, so I've gone in the horror genre because I didn't know that Sinners was a horror film at the start, and then it became one. So I've gone in that sort of genre. So I'm going to give it a play. Let's
go for your presentation. I'll be taking some notes.
I didn't charge my thing.
I forgot to charge his.
That's now refusing to turn on.
Well, you can just play it out of your phone. That is okay.
Play it on my phone.
Because again, movie magic is going to be edited in post.
All right, I'll just blare it. Phones are quite loud nowadays anyway, aren't they? One would hope. All right.
Hey, Daniel, it's me. Look, you're probably at work or driving, but I thought I'd give you a call because I didn't want to do this in person. I thought if I tried, I might say it wrong or not say it at all, so Look, everything's mostly fine here. The flat's fine. I locked up. I even fixed that flickering light in the bathroom. Turns out it was just a bulb, not, nothing strange. I did what you asked. This morning, I remembered. I didn't forget. I wouldn't forget something important to you, so I did what you said. I went over to the cage and, well, I just stood there for a second, not moving. I don't know why. I think I saw... Anyway, I poured the food into the bowl like you showed me to, and I know what you're going to say. He's harmless. You've said that before. You said that like it was obvious, like it didn't even need defending. But you weren't there. The noises I heard, something was wrong. Oh, it's hard to explain. It sounds ridiculous, even now, saying it out loud. I'm trying to go through it. What happened in my head, make it make sense, something you can laugh off, but I don't think I can explain it. I heard a voice. The same voice over and over. Not coming from the cage exactly, but all around, from everywhere. Whispers that grew louder and louder and louder until it was deafening, and that was all I could hear, saying the same thing again and again and again and again, saying, "Open the cage." So I did, without thinking, just to make the voices stop. Then I saw it come right at me. And when it moved, it wasn't panic or fear. I've seen panic. This was direct, certain. And in that moment, I knew if I hesitated, I would lose control of it. So I didn't hesitate. It was fast, too fast. But I was faster. I'm telling you this because I don't want you to hear it any other way, not from someone else But your hamster is dead. And I need you to understand that I didn't do it out of anger or carelessness. I did it because I had to. But I thought you should hear it from me, so... Anyway, give me a call back when you get this. Okay, bye.
Scary, right? Yeah?
You know what? Looking after hamsters, they're always going to die.
I mean, yeah, hamsters do die in a lot of weird ways, but
That was a nice payoff.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I think if it had been like a ghoul or something, because one of my notes was it was getting a bit long. I was like, when's the payoff gonna hit?
Yeah, you're right. I could have shortened it. I
Hey,
did think
hey,
that.
you know what,
It was like
it's-
3 minutes, 10,
Yeah.
something like that. So yeah, I was really milking it, to be honest. I was getting way too into it when I was recording it.
Actor.
Yeah, oh yeah, those dramatic pauses.
So my last note was just hamster, and then I was like, what is it that I'm trying to say? Is that it was a nice payoff.
Okay, cool.
So something you did really nice is you built up the suspense really well. Something that I feel was lacking in Sinners. So not to say that you're better. But I thought the suspense was built very nicely. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
doing
Okay,
movements.
I was building up to it.
But I'm like, I was like, okay, what's the I was laughing a little bit. I was getting a little bit like, what's nervous? Like I've written in capitals, what's in the cage? Be like that TikTok, what's inside that rock but in the cage?
I don't know.
What's inside the cage?
But it's in the rock.
Yeah.
No, that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. This probably definitely wasn't by choice, but there were some sirens in the background.
Yeah, that was an accident.
And
A happy one though.
Yeah, that really
liked
added. It made it more menacing. Yeah, I was
Ominous.
like, like
I was going for that. Thank you.
on the telly when they'll have put just sirens in the back, and you're like, oh, something that happened.
Yeah. Well, you know where you are. You hear that and you're like, oh.
I'm in a city.
Yeah, you're in you know where you are. There's jeopardy.
I thought the start was really nice and natural.
Okay, cool.
Like it was very like, I was like, oh yeah, this could be a real voice note.
Yeah.
That's how voice notes
Yeah.
often start, like just
Okay.
chatty, and then I thought you got into the despair quite nicely too.
Lovely. Good. Well, I'm glad you found it was natural, because the first couple of takes I did way too over the top. So that funnily enough, that was me
Okay.
toning it down.
So that was take 3.
Take 3. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I'd love to hear about your creative process with that, and especially then with doing 3 takes.
Yeah. So I did 3 takes. I liked, in terms of takes, and generally in self-tapes and anything you have to record yourself, I struggle with trying to get it right again and again and again. So sometimes I will be like, right, 3 takes,
Do you have
and
a
then
cut-off?
pick the best
3 is
one,
your
or
cut-off?
5, and then pick the best one.
3's my cutoff.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think first take, if I haven't rehearsed enough, I'm finding my feet.
Yeah.
Second take, I can then be like, okay, what worked, what didn't work.
Yeah.
If I haven't got in the second take, if I haven't got, I think like the rule is, if you haven't got your self tape in the third take, it's not going to get better after 3.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fair enough. I think it depends how much work you've done, to be honest. Because
Yes, if
sometimes
you've-
when you've got a lot on your plate and
if
you
you've
haven't
done-
done as much work as you would have liked, can happen.
But I think, if
And you're still figuring it out.
If you do it in a row though, by the time you get to 10,
It's
there's
if you
gonna
haven't
be
got it,
no-
you're not going to get it.
There'll be no
yeah.
authenticity.
Yeah.
So you found that in your first 2 takes, they were more forced and like potentially less authentic.
Yes, perhaps. I was leaning more into the sort of, the old bold brash horror tropes.
Right,
a bit more.
okay.
So, and then the third one, I was like, okay, I actually want to make it a bit more darker,
Chill out,
intense,
more you.
Like, yeah, make it a bit more real, grittier. and then I think that adds payoff to the hamster when it's like, if
Yeah.
it's serious, it's actually quite scary. There's something going on. So what I did is I wrote it, which again isn't like me. I added some lines in there when I was reading the script that I wrote.
Right, okay.
So
And when you say isn't like you normally...
I normally like to create things improvisation
on the spot,
already.
right? Yes. So it's I did wonder if it was
Devised, yeah,
if it was semi-improv.
But I just found it helpful to have a script. So I wrote a script, the bare bones of the story, added little bits in there. I changed little bits, some little stutters and thoughts and whatnot, just to make it feel a little bit more speech, real life. But yeah, so I wrote it, and I lent with the idea of being possessed, and I thought, well, what if humans can become vampires and be possessed by some sort of demon entity? Why not animals?
So the hamster was possessed, and the hamster was
Possibly.
the one saying, "Open the cage,
Wow.
open the cage."
Yeah. Open the cage. Open the cage. Open the cage. Yeah. Yeah. There was that. I think I actually did that when I was reading it.
That's him closing a fist.
Oh yeah, for all our listeners out there. So yeah, I lent with that, but also with that, I found this ambiguity. What if? I mean, this can go either way. You can believe whatever you want. That's what this piece is all about. Believing whatever you want. Either this hamster is possessed. This is a normal fella who's looking after his friend's demon-possessed hamster. Or this fella's got some issues and he's just murdered a hamster.
Yeah.
Because all we know is he heard voices that he deemed to be coming from the hamster, and then he killed a hamster.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this guy could just have some issues, and
I don't like that the hamster died.
no, but then if there wasn't, there needs to be some sort of sacrifice, really. It's a horror film. We've got to have a bit of gore.
Yeah.
I could have made it more graphic. I could have been like, yes, I slammed the hamster down with a shoe or something. It went splat like an orange. But I didn't do that.
I'm getting emotional about the hamster.
Sorry.
I hate it when animals die.
I didn't name
in
the hamster,
things.
though, intentionally.
And they can't help it, and they're just there. Yeah. Okay. Well, that helps.
Because originally
Not
when I
Fluffy
wrote
the
it, I
hamster.
referred to the hamster as he, but I wanted to make it more like it. Like, no, if I named it as well. Also, if we had a named hamster there already, it would take away from the I wanted to add the hamster thing right at the end. Like,
Yeah.
'cause what were you
No.
thinking listening along to it?
I wasn't sure what it was. Ow. That's why I wrote what's inside the cage. 'Cause I didn't
Could
know.
have been anything. Could have been a dog. Could
So
have been a man in latex. Could have been anything.
So where did you, I know you said you tried to keep close to the source material. Where did you, like when you were sitting down to write it, you have this task and you're like how did you be like, I'm going to write now? Were you inspired? I know you watched the film in two.
Yeah.
Were you in a creative mind?
So I wrote
already?
it after the film, and I was inspired, and I was thinking about. I think I mentioned it on the last pod. What inspired Ryan Coogler with Sinners, and one of the things was Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And I was thinking about the red eyes, and I loved the eyes in Sinners, the vampire eyes. Sometimes they must have been contacts of some sort, but sometimes they were like sort of glassy blue, like the moon, and sometimes there was just like a hint of red, but they weren't like red irises. They were like normal eyes, but with like a sort of red sheen over them. It was awesome. And I thought about that, and then I thought about the red wolf eyes in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and how terrifying a character he is. And I thought about like, animals getting possessed, and then I thought about a hamster with red eyes. Originally it was going to be a guinea pig, but I thought that's too big. I feel like that is actually quite formidable. Like I don't
know if I know the difference.
The guinea pig's like, I don't know, they're like
Right, okay. I had a rat
that
growing
big.
up, so I didn't have
a rat.
yeah, ratty.
Ratty. That's all where the creativity started for you.
Yeah, so I obviously wasn't inspired when I picked that name.
Oh, is it Ratty after winning the Willows, or
No, it's Ratty
it's
because
just Ratty
she was a
'cause
rat.
Okay, that's
And then she became Princess Ratty
oh, she was.
because
I don't know. She was knighted, not knighted.
right, it was just because my sister was like Ratty's a rubbish name for a rat.
Inducted into the royal
And I was
family.
like, okay, fine, Princess Ratty.
Princess Ratty.
So you didn't have to like turn on your creativity to do it. You don't like, you were feeling inspired, like, oh, I've got these ideas. I'm gonna get them down.
Yeah. In the last, when I did, the Thatcher, the Thatcher Nessa scene, see episode 3, episode 4, wasn't it? Yeah, that's it. Check out our other
It's
episodes.
actually 2B.
2B. Okay. Is that how we're doing it?
Yeah.
Great. Good to know. 2B. I had to really dig down and like summon some creativity because I had no idea what I was doing with that. But this one came quite naturally. I saw the film and I had an idea and I just did it. So I didn't.
Okay.
You may be able to tell I didn't spend quite as much time on this one.
Oh, sorry, I'm not yawning because you're boring me.
Well,
I had 2 bananas and I still feel alright.
bananas do make one very sleepy.
No, I need some Huel.
You'll have to listen to the voice note again. That'll wake you up. The tension.
Any other notes about your creative process, like things that you'd like to highlight? I'm interested still in the takes. So what was it that made you? So you listened back to take 1 and take 2.
Yeah, I did.
said
I don't
no.
normally do that. Do you watch back your takes as you're doing them, or do you watch them all at the end?
It depends.
On what?
It depends on 1, how much prep I've done. 2, if I'm not confident on like my tech.
Yeah.
So like the technicality side of cell tapes of like my eye line.
Right.
I might do it and then I'm like, oh, actually, I don't know if I'm not sure if I'm going to like where my eye line is. So then I'll check that stuff.
Yeah.
For this, obviously, it's just a voice note.
Exactly. That's why I listened to them straight after I did them, because I was very able to like spot which bits didn't work, which bits were over the top, which bits needed more pace. Apparently, all of it needed
Was any
more
of the
pace.
script cut or added? Like,
Yeah, I added lines as we went after the first take. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that needed a bit of fleshing out. That needed a little bit extra. A bit more about the hamster coming at me, giving me a reason to slam it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I found it very easy to listen to my voice. Some people really hate that. I hate seeing myself on screen. So I hate watching
see.
myself. So I never ever watch my takes as I'm doing them because it always psychs me out.
So obviously I was specifically trained in camera acting. And we had to, like, that was one of our exercises was
Right, you have to be okay with it.
Watch back and critique. And
As
like,
soon as you do it.
yeah,
before you
and
do
we
the
do it in
next
front
one.
of the class.
Yeah.
Like, one of our early exercises was we would just like talk in front of the camera,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I used to go like this when I was talking. I'd like, this is how I do, like express myself like this.
For our listeners, the hands are waving like
yeah,
mad
they're
at the
going
moment.
crazy. And I don't do that anymore. I know, like, I still, like, use my hands, but I stopped doing it because, like, that straight away, like, my...
It's all you can focus on when
And
you
then,
see it, yeah.
and then when my best friend would talk to me, she'd go like this. She'd be like... and then she'd do what I do, and I was like, so see.
Now you can see it. Like, it's like the glass is shattered. And
Yeah, so I think it is also
can't see
good
it.
as a performer if you're on
it's
camera.
It's definitely a skill.
Or if you're, you know, doing voice work and
Yeah.
not on camera, either way, you should watch back, listen back, so you can be like, oh, well, that's something like, oh, my eyeline was way wrong, you know? Or like watching back these, like,
yeah, I haven't
you know,
done that
after
yet, but
watching back the first episode, I liked how much you spoke the camera. So then I was like, after our first episode, I was like, oh, I need to try and look into the camera more.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, so I think it is beneficial, even though it's difficult. I think, you know, you get big actors who have never watched the thing that they're in.
Yeah.
I think, you know, once you get to that point in your career, maybe you're privileged enough that, you know, you've booked 3 series on The Walking Dead, you don't need to rewatch it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When you get to that, if you're like Sam Jackson or something and you've done hundreds of films, you probably can't watch all of them. It just gets
like the guy who plays the lead character in The Walking Dead hasn't watched any of them.
Really? Yeah, I think that's
he's
quite
like
common.
renowned for it, you know. He's like, oh, I don't watch back. But you know, you're also going to be getting live feedback from the people that you're working with. But when you're taping, when you're like in the cycle of like being a jobbing actor, and you're doing tape after tape after tape, and you're not getting feedback because if you're not booking, you don't get told. Oh,
you have to
you haven't got it because
self-critique,
of this. So you know, it is important to be like, okay, and then also like.
But if it's a finished product, you don't need to do that, which is why I suppose people don't watch their films. But I suppose you can still learn for it from the next.
Maybe
product,
if it's the telly, but like for films, you have to go to the premiere.
Yeah.
Like my friend had never done it, and she just shot her first feature last summer.
Cool.
And she went to the premiere last week, and she was like, I was so nervous. She was like, I haven't watched myself on camera. She was like, I'm so nervous to look at myself like on a big cinema screen. That was the first time she'd done it.
Surreal.
That would be so confronting. Because then obviously all you're doing, like when I watch through edits of for films for Revolve that I've acted in, I have to really be like, okay, I'm not looking at myself as an actor. It's shot, it's done.
Yeah.
I can't look at this and be like, oh, I'm overacting that line there.
Yeah.
Oh, my accent was a bit off there. Oh, my eyeline could have been better there. That reaction wasn't natural.
It's difficult. You have to look at yourself in the context of the film and
Just
does what
enjoy
you're
it.
doing work
Yeah.
in the film. Is it? Do you believe it? That's the big
exactly.
word. Does it make sense with the rest of the film?
And you didn't believe
And
your
it's
first
hard.
2 takes.
No. Well, I'm not even sure I believe that one, but yeah, I thought it was the best of the 3.
I believed the opening
Okay.
and the ending
All right.
and some of the
Somewhere
middle.
in the middle.
There were some little bits where I think there was a bit of overacting.
Yeah,
where you
probably.
were I could feel that you were like enjoying.
Yeah, that's always been my big.
Enjoying the
It was my big
part.
note from every drama school teacher was less is more, Joe, less is more.
Yeah, but
And
then it
it's
depends on the
easy.
medium too, because
To- yeah.
if you're doing like comedy improv,
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, as long as it's truthful to what it is and the world you're creating. As long as you don't stand out like a sore thumb. If you're doing a big, you know, commedia dell'arte, great. Then, pantaloni, yeah. Love that. Did you ever do commedia dell'arte?
no,
Oh, it's so good.
went to film school.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Well, yeah, you can film it. Yes, there was I think there was an episode of. Have you ever seen Inside Number 9? They did a whole episode inspired by commedia dell'arte.
Right,
It worked
right.
very well on film.
Yeah, I know. I could just, you know, we did Meisner.
Yeah, us too.
Yeah, that was like our main practitioner.
Yeah,
We like kind of did
repetition
them.
exercises.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool. We're not going to do one now.
whole episode would just be some
Just
repetition.
some repetition. Yeah, why not? Yeah, Meisner repetition is just sort of you're repeating sort of almost at the start. It's like menial phrases and calling out
Did
things,
you go
but it's more
further?
about. How do you mean?
How far did you go with Meisner? Did you like knock on the door exercise and stuff?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
Did the ones where you're doing a task as well.
Yeah, so
And you give
know,
yourself
so many
context on top of it,
practitioners.
but yeah.
So many practitioners. Do you feel like? Here's a question. Do you feel like any practitioners inspired your creative challenge?
This creative challenge. Oh, I don't know. No. Is this maybe Ryan Coogler's Sinners, but other than that, he practices, doesn't he?
Yes, yeah.
But I'm going to be honest with you.
Some naturalism.
Getting
some emotion memory in there, thinking about
emotional recall. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Objective nature exercise. Did you ever do that?
I don't know if I can remember that.
I visualized punching a hamster. Like I was there.
Oh, did you?
No, I didn't.
Did you go method and
I practiced on hamsters.
No animal cruelty was used in the creation.
Harmed.
No animal was harmed in the creation of this creative challenge.
I can't guarantee that. I'm joking. No, I didn't punch any hamsters. I punched some jellycats.
And how did you feel? I guess you've done it before, but I haven't asked before. How did you feel then playing that out loud when there's 4 other people in the room, people are going to be listening? Does that bring up any feelings or confront anything for you?
No, I'm going to be honest. No, I didn't feel that. Can you listen to the sound of your voice?
Yeah.
Quite easily. I mean, you were trained to, obviously, but yeah, I don't mind my voice so much. It's watching back something I'm doing on screen, because I will always be, I'm always the person that's doing too much. I will always look at myself and be like, why? Yeah, exactly what you were talking about with the
you're
flappy
a lot
hands.
though as well as a person. You're a big character. So
I see that, and I see I pick that out straight away.
I think I definitely sometimes I'll hear myself talking if I'm not ready for it. I find that quite difficult. If Nathan's editing an episode and I don't know, I find that quite difficult because of my accent, and that it's so silly because I've done so much work on being okay with my accent, but then I've just had so many different thoughts through my life of when I was growing up in theatre, we were taught that we had to talk RP if we wanted to be actors. And I remember we were doing the BFG and we were saying happy birthday, and she was going, no, it's not happy birthday, it's happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And you've got to talk all properly. And then suddenly, then I was training in New York, and I had to talk posher because people couldn't understand me with my regional accent. And then adverts were coming out where they were having northern accents, and then suddenly all of the classroom breakdowns where we want regional accents, and I was like, oh well, my actual accent's a regional accent. And then I had to teach myself to not, when I walk into a room, talk in this really proper way. And then I'd be at home in London with with you guys, and I was told that I sounded really chavvy or and then I'd go home and everyone told me I sounded really posh.
Really? Yeah.
So it's I've just always had such a
what is your if you could overhammer your regional accent?
I don't know, probably like this.
Yeah.
Sort
of Essexy.
It's not Essex. I'm not from Essex.
Yeah, I know you're not from Essex, but I'm
from Kent.
So
I'm from Medway, which is both Kent and Essex accents are derived from Cockney, so they're both derivatives. Okay. So they have similar. I'll hear people from Essex and I'll think that they're from Kent. I think there are always the extremes.
Yeah.
And I think all of my friends growing up who I did drama with, all of us have had the same thing of then we were all a little bit more well-spoken.
Yeah.
Or all spoke a little bit more properly, because we were taught that we had to. And then all of my friends that weren't in drama, they just have our home accent.
Yeah.
And they don't have that kind of issue.
I mean, that's very interesting how it's changed in such a short space of time. I've always had quite a posh accent. People have told me that I sound very posh.
You're from Surrey, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. So
sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. So I've always going into what we were saying before about me being a bit of a character, I've always when there was an opportunity to put on an accent or a voice or something or change something about it, I would.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's just again, maybe that's a protection thing to steer away from me and myself and what makes me, unique. Like there's more of a value on finding your own unique selling point.
Last episode, didn't you? You did the Welsh, and you like kind of just did it. Yeah. And then when you two asked me to do the accent at the end, I like had such like a in that moment, I felt all of the feelings, because I can do a general American accent. That's like my strongest, most confident accent. But suddenly being asked to do it, I was like, because I get so insecure around accents. Yeah. But then also, I'm like, oh, but I'm also an actor, so I should just be able to do an accent, because that's what we should be able to do. And it was like such a creative hang up. Yeah. Of like being like, hi, Esme and Joe. So I found that tricky.
It is tricky. I mean, the more we did accents in drama school, and it's become more than it used to be in terms of like the specificity you have to put into it now, because you don't really want to piss people off with doing it, but it can piss people off. I mean, it depends what accent you're doing, but like accuracy is, it's important. Like the more work you put in.
I hate when I'm watching something like an American thing and they're trying to do a London accent.
Exactly. You feel a bit indignant about it. And
it's like, oh, get it right.
That's all you can focus on. So it is very important to get those down, but also understand what your voice is, and like it depends what you're doing, I suppose. But it's.
I think like a voice in any sector, your voice as a person. Whatever way you put across your voice is such an important thing at all. Like, we're silenced so much. Like the government want to stop repeat protests. You can protest about something once, but no more protests after that, because that gets exhausting.
No, we've done that now. We've done that.
Don't use your voice. Like,
move on. Find something else.
Yeah, like our voices are so important, and I think, and then especially as performers get into grips with what your voice sounds like. I think I definitely find listening to myself harder than looking at myself. Really? Yeah. Watching myself back, I find easier, because I think it's also.
Did you at the start before you went to film school?
We'd like to take a quick moment to thank Ivan Weiss Photography for sponsoring today's episode. Ivan provides a stunning customised headshot and portrait service out of his central London studio, London Bridge, so Ideal. Not too far from here. He is celebrated across the industry for his signature table portraits, and has photographed high-profile actors, corporate executives and creatives. He is truly a jack of all trades.
Fabulous. I am actually looking to get some new headshots.
Well, Ivan Weiss Photography would be perfect.
Wow. Okay, great. Yeah, I love it.
Joe, if you want to view his spectacular portfolio or book your own session, head over to his website or check out his stunning work via @IvanWeissPhotography.London on Instagram.
I will do that.
You and our audience can use the link in the episode description with the code POPCORN15 to get 15% off of your bookings. 15% off.
Ka-ching.
So go and upgrade your portfolio today with Ivan Weiss Photography.
Yeah, 15% off is no joke, because headshots is something you don't want to
mess around.
You don't want to mess around one. You want to get them the best you possibly can, and 15% off will be a hefty chunk. So absolutely, and Ivan Weiss seems like an absolute pro.
Yeah, and I love the bit that I said in the intro of representing you rather than it being this one style fits all actor.
Yeah. I mean, your search for a headshot photographer, it is personal. It's to your taste and what you like, but always go with the pros that have been there, done that, and know what that is. And Ivan Weiss is certainly that. So yeah, hop on it, guys.
Now back to the conversation.
Woo!
Look, I've always liked being in front of a camera and looking at myself on camera.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I've got portraits of me when I was little, with my arms up behind
my
head.
You did seem very at home on the shoot we did the other day.
Yeah, so I love it. I've started getting into modelling.
Cool.
I love that. These are not modelling shoots. He's just holding up the
me. There you go.
That we made.
Look at that. Could have picked a riper strawberry though. That's all I'll say.
Nathan can edit in.
We're critiquing each other's work.
That's audio, not silly. Anyway, I definitely found it harder for a bit. So I've got an eating disorder and have been in recovery for about 6 years. And then when I was in the trenches with that, I definitely found that harder. I get quite bad body dysmorphia, so I can find that quite hard. But I think I'm so used to overcoming that, of being like, I just have to confront that. I think as well, like that's how I for me, I like to confront things.
Do you have any techniques in terms of confronting them? Is there anything you specifically do to, or do you just be like, this is what I have to do, this is my job, and make it more of a professional thing?
It is work.
Yeah.
I think like that's what we were taught when I was training. Like it is part of it. It's uncomfortable. We're not going to like doing it.
No.
But I think you have to.
Yeah.
And then also I enjoy it so much. So I think how can I enjoy being on, the lens end of the camera so much and then not look at it?
Yeah.
Like why hide away from that just because I'm scared of looking at myself? And at times I am, and then at times I will find that harder. At times I find it easier.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa.
I think there's also a reassurance in that people are not seeing what you're seeing. They're focused on the film. They're watching it in a completely different lens. They're not focused on, if your eye twitched there, or if your tongue popped out for too long, or something like all those little infinitesimal details that make us want to crawl inside ourselves. They're not focusing on that. They're focusing on the story, the bigger picture.
Nicola. I think her name's Nicola Clue. I always say Nicola Clue-Clark because I can't say her second name.
Nicola Clue-Clark.
No, but I don't know how to pronounce it. It's an Irish second name. Grace will tell me.
Grace, write in. We need this name.
Nicola Clarkin?
Clarkin.
Maybe. Anyway, she's in Bridgerton.
Okay.
And Bridgerton is super horny. And she did a sex scene. And she's like a size 14, 16, plus size actor. And everyone was like, it's so brave. Like, it's so brave to do that scene. And then I read a thing that she'd said of like, but she was like, oh, I'm just so fed up of that. Like, she was like, one, I'm like not, she's like, I'm mid-size. I'm not even plus size. Like, I'm a size 14 to 16. And she was like, two, why does it have to be brave just for like being in my body and then being able to have that go on screen in front of however many people watch Bridgerton, millions, whatever. Like when it's a horny show, people are getting their kit off and getting it on all the time.
I mean, what I will say to that is that I think it's a brave thing to do. Whatever you are, whoever you are, whatever you look like.
Why aren't the other actors being like?
It's why are you saying it specifically to her as bravery?
And
it is a brave all round. Like when you're making yourself completely vulnerable, you're showing everyone who you are. It's it's going to be immortalized forever. It's a very brave thing to do, but it's brave for everyone.
Yeah, and she was like, I just wanted to be in that moment and like enjoy doing my job. Yeah, because it is my job and it's what I do, and that's what like. And she was like, I'm lucky to be doing it, and I've embellished some of that. So don't quote me on that interview, but that's what I took from it.
Yeah.
But I think this, you just gotta. I think you just gotta.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a tricky one, that nudity in films and whatnot. I think you need to be entirely comfortable with what's happening and what it's going to be used for and everything, and you have to have a big say in that.
I mean, like there needs to be intimacy coordinators and.
Yeah. Did you have intimacy coordinators come into your school at all? No. Maybe
Did you?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had whole intimacy coordination workshops.
That's cool. What's that like?
It was pretty surreal at first. Like you have to get over that certain, like, not like hesitancy, but like, I mean, it was slightly strange in terms of like we were manufacturing intimacy to work on intimacy, whereas intimacy was. It's just something you have to do, you have to get through, and you have the coordinator there to help you get through it and choreograph it. But it was we weren't like fully getting intimate, but we had to manufacture certain bits of intimacy in order to teach it, which was a bit strange. But just learning those techniques was invaluable, because especially when you're an artist and you don't have the budget to bring an intimacy coordinator, and a lot if you're doing fringe projects and shows and you're self-directing, self-writing, self-performing, knowing those techniques is invaluable.
And then I think
being able to go through step by step.
As the performer being in that scene, like, you should always know then you have the right to advocate for yourself and what you're comfortable with. And if there isn't an intimacy coordinator, you can also be like, I don't want to do it. There should always be closed sets for things like that. Less people on the set. People shouldn't like. Not everyone needs to be there. You don't need the runner watching when you're shooting something more intimate. People can be outside the space or the room. So always advocating for yourself, especially if there isn't. But then also like part of the plot, I think you can say, okay, well, why is this needed? Like, is this bit of
you can always question
nudity
everything
needed?
with it. It's like, why? Yeah, the same thing you do with your lines and your performances, the things you do.
Question every intention.
Like, why am I doing this specific move? Why is what is my intention with all of it? And then it becomes a completely choreographed. Like the same thing you do to choreograph a fight scene or something like that.
It is. It's all choreography, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like in Sinners, the sex scenes would have been choreographed the same as the dance scenes, the same as the fight scenes. It's all same as the camera movements going through the long Duke scene.
The aim is to make it seem very spontaneous and flirtatious and fun and sexy and dangerous, but sexy. The more work you put in, the more choreographed, the more planned it is, the more it will feel like that. So it's the same as anything.
And the safer it is too. You don't want anything suddenly going wrong. I mean, we could watch.
Could watch what?
Crazy films where things have gone wrong because there weren't intimacy.
Yeah.
Like, then they still get aired.
Yes, which is kind of shocking. Yeah,
and we definitely need content warnings on those episodes because such bad things have happened. So
historically, there's been big strides made in that area.
Yeah.
Of late.
So what's one takeaway that you'd have from your creative challenge?
Yeah, God, how did we get there from talking about a hamster?
Yeah,
horror?
So one takeaway or like thing that you learn or thing that you'd want our listener, viewer to take away if they are, say they've seen a prompt on Instagram that is like, write this thing inspired by this. And they're like, oh, I want to submit to this. How do you, anything? Any thoughts?
Takeaways. I think this one, as opposed to the last one, I thought a lot about it. Tried different ideas, wrote different things. And I was like, uninspired. But this one, I just had an idea and I did it. Maybe because I did it quite late, but I did this in like an evening, and maybe that's fine. That's all it took. Just if you have an idea, try it.
Yeah.
Just like if you've got an idea, it's before it moves away or before you think about it too much, even just write it down, perform it, show it to someone. Like as soon as, and then
put it in your notes app.
Put it in notes, and then even if it doesn't work, then you might have a project down the line that you can bring it back for, anything like that. So it's just about proactiveness, and I completely understand we can all dwell on ideas for a long time. Like we can always a friend of mine said that you're never not working or you're never not doing something, you're always in development. And as long as you have an idea that you're thinking about it being, you're in development, always in development. Whenever someone comes to talk to you about what you're doing, I'm in development.
I've got iCloud notes from over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
From when I would be like walking around and I'd write like a monologue, because I used to write mostly. And I'd write poetry and scenes and monologues. Yeah. I would put them on my notes app, and then I was clearing out storage, and I was like, wow, and I've still got these 10 years later. Yeah. they're all. You flick through them and they'll pop up. Yeah.
Also, yesterday when I was writing it, I was in anticipation of a very, very, very big football match. So all I wanted to do was take my mind off it. And that was a perfect example of diving into something else. And it didn't help. We lost in the end.
Okay.
Oh, I'm miserable. Anyway, that's beside the point. But it's just something to put your energy into for a minute if you want to distract yourself from something. Create something. Yeah.
I'm going to answer the phone.
You answer that, which is ringing. Ring, ring.
I think,
Hello. Hello. This is Creative Hangup Hotline. Who have we got on the phone here?
so we, no, it's fine. So we have it in text format.
Text format. All right. Okay. Should I put it on speaker?
Yeah. How do you stay motivated when things fall through?
Yeah, it's hard.
So probably like a project or something. I think when one door closes, a new one opens. I had a project that
Very wise.
I didn't contract for properly because it was like my first project that I'd created myself. The contract wasn't done properly. The copyright wasn't done properly. It was a group of us. You know, we didn't all agree with what we wanted to do with it. And then I, for like a year and a half, tried to keep working on this project. It was why I started Evolve. I started Evolve to do this project. And
so it was like your baby, basically. It was your,
yeah, I spent years on it. It was about
personal.
it was super personal. I think it was the most personal thing I've ever worked on.
Yeah.
And then got finally sorted the contracts out. I studied a load of contract stuff. Got one person to sign it. The other person just kept pushing it, and I just ended up having to, because I was feeling like creatively stunted.
Yeah.
And also like heartbroken. Like I would cry so much over it. I remember like I sent like a 10-minute long voice note, like crying, like please just I either need to know that I can work on this project or we got to call it because I couldn't do anything else. And then as soon as I remember, I typed out a message and said, I'm taking a step back. I don't know what your decision was going to be, but I'm going to move on. Next day, I had an idea for my next project.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
I think I was so attached to that one.
In that regard.
And it's hard to move on from something, but
especially when it's that personal. Like you're not thinking of it as a project that everyone's going to collaborate in. This is like, we talked about it, I think, before when talking about hang-ups, of like it almost being therapeutic for some people to get their work out there, their feelings out there. So when you're constantly being pushed back on what is so personal to you, it feels like a personal attack, maybe.
It does, yeah. And it's even like a self-tape when you get those sides in and it's a character that you super resonate with and you're like, this is me. And then if you don't get it, that's still so hard. Like losing any, I think, opportunity or like creative spark or inspiration that you've had and then you haven't been able to properly work on it or like develop it or like take it wherever you want to go. I think it's always going to be difficult.
How do you think you deal with that then?
I think for bigger things, I think grieve like it's a person, like a lost relationship or a friend breakup, because I think that's what it feels like. Sometimes it can feel like a breakup when you lose a project that you were really in love with. Sometimes, you've got to also look at the positives that have come out of that. Like for my example, I was then creatively freed and was able to move on. Or like, maybe it frees up time for other things that you're working on. Sometimes things don't work out for a reason. Maybe it genuinely wasn't a good fit with that team or that person.
Do you apply like a degree of separation in terms of like when you're working on the creative aspects of the project, you differentiate it to the like logistical side that comes across? I mean,
it all feels creative. I think logistics feel very creative to me.
Yeah.
Like admin still feels super creative. I think my main difference would be when I'm completely acting and I'm getting a tape, or like I taped for a character that was inspired by Bridget Jones, and I love Bridget Jones. I went through this phase that everyone would tell me, like people would stop me in the street and be like, you look like Bridget Jones.
Did you like that?
I loved it. It was when I'd first cut my hair, so it was short and it was like, So then when I had this tape, I was like, oh my god, and I loved the character. It was so much fun. I think it's like the best tape I've done for such a long time.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it. And that was like, but I think it's also always knowing another project will come, another tape will come.
Yeah.
I was really poorly and I couldn't do a tape that my agent got me, and I it was right after I had an operation, and I had said like I feel really rubbish about this because I want to be doing every tape I get, you know, I want to, and my agent was just like, look after you, more tapes always come. Mm-hmm. And that's so important. Like,
and I think always work as hard as you can, or do the best you can in everything that comes your way. But like, understand that it's a good thing if lots coming your way.
Yeah.
You need to sort different, like, compartmentalize your time to each one. Like, it is okay to, you know, prioritize and stuff like that. So like, put your all into it as much as you can, but like, don't you sometimes find that it's the ones you really want, the ones that's perfect for you? I love this character, this is me, I've got everything. You don't get, and it's the one that you sort of, okay, this is not a good lesson, that you half-ass those.
Wow.
Because maybe you have a different energy in that.
Yeah.
Maybe they can see that you're not as desperate for it.
At the start of last year, I decided to stop doing any like Mandy self-tapes. I was like, I'll do everything that my agent gets me, but I was so burnt out with that kind of like cycle of getting something, doing a tape, not getting you know, that whole thing that every performer, I mean every freelancer who has to apply to multiple jobs every week, everyone gets that feeling. And I had this tape come in from Mandy, and I was like, you know, I'm not going to do it, I'm not feeling it. And Nathan was like, just do it, we'll get pizza after, just do it. And I did it, and I booked that, and that I haven't done it yet, but that'll be my first feature that I'll work on. And like I could have not done that tape.
Fantastic. Yeah.
I think, you know, with the example where my agent was like, you know, more tapes will come. You know, you also need to look after your well-being. Like, if you're so burnt out that like you literally physically can't, or like you've had an operation, you're in pain, or you just can't, there still has to be a degree of work-life balance, even though you're creative.
Yeah.
And I think that helps when things do fall through, because we tend to, as creatives, tie so much of our self-worth to our creative endeavours, where in reality our self-worth is so much more. Like, we've got, you know, friends, family, hobbies.
Those things are all very important.
Favourite mugs, you know, like there's all this other stuff, pets maybe, like favourite colours, pink. There's all this other stuff that's important. And I just think, like, I started acting when I was 4, and I'd always tied who I am to being creative. But if there was...
It's a part of who you are. It's a big part, but it's not all of it.
But if there was an apocalypse tomorrow... And, you know, zombies are running over the earth. Or vampires. And, you know, that we can't... I can no longer act, or I can no longer produce film or make film. You know, we can't even watch films anymore because all the cinemas have got vampires living in them. You know, like I'm talking like world-shattering apocalypse.
Yes.
Would my self-worth still be tied to my creative career? No, because I've got so much more about me. My self-worth would then be tied to like being with the people that I love, enjoying myself, surviving.
Who can you save? Yeah, how long can you last?
You know, making other people's, like my whole thing is like, I like entertaining people. So I'd probably still be doing that, but it just looks so different. And I think I like to remind myself that when I feel that I'm so attached to something, that it feels like nothing else will come.
It's true. Self-worth is circumstantial, about what you deem to be your worth. And
I actually read a book about being codependent, and it's called Other Esteem. So like, we have self-esteem, where we hold our self-esteem in ourselves, but then there's also other esteem, where we hold our esteem in other things. That might be our relationships, our friendships, like obviously different type of relationship, our career, like then there's so many types of esteem, and I think it's good to just remember that you're so much more than that job or that project. Absolutely.
I think that's, spot on. Where would you go if there was a zombie apocalypse? Quick tangent.
I don't know, because we're in London. Like, how are we getting out of London?
We're not in a good place.
No.
But also yes and no, because I think maybe not on the mainland. So my plan would be always head to the coast, get to the Isle of Wight or something like that.
You're not getting to that coast.
Yeah, all right. If it started now, when we're in the middle of Middlesex University in a booth and everyone starts turning into zombies, what, like in this moment right now, We're not in central London. If we're in central London, you're done.
It's pretty busy here, though, isn't it?
It's pretty busy.
Look at these students.
Yeah, a lot of students. Lot of students.
They're not helping us.
They're not helping.
I can actually, so one of my lofts, you can get into like the mechanism of the house.
Whoa.
Do you know what I mean?
Whoa.
So I think I'd go in there. I'd go
Really?
and hide in the mechanism
But
of
long
the house.
term, what are you going to do there?
I'd wait until the buzz dies down.
Mm-hmm.
Let some people be killed off.
Have you got any food up there?
I take everything up. But I'd have to get home. Don't even know if I'd be able to get home from here.
What about, okay, hear me out here.
I don't
Hear me
know. How
out.
long do you have?
You know, like,
this
you know...
episode?
2 minutes.
Okay, hear me out for 2 minutes. 2 minutes to go. What about a shopping centre? If you get a group of people...
They actually, at my shopping centre at home, they did like a zombie apocalypse experience where they've got zombies chasing you around.
But like, surely it's got to have security. Like, they're not, like, these are strong glass doors.
Thank you for calling the Creative Hangup Hotline. I'm going to put the phone down now.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. You can defend that. There's more food than you could possibly want. There's facilities. There's, shopping
You try
centre.
getting to the closest shopping centre if it started right now.
You're right.
And that's a wrap on this week's episode of Popcorn and Patriarchy. If you made it this far,
Good for you. Well done.
And if at any point, I know we've spoken about a lot of mindset stuff this time, so if at any point you were thinking, I felt that before, you resonated, that's the whole point of why we're doing this. So if you'd like to keep the conversation going and get involved, you can send us your creative hang-ups via the Creative Hangup Hotline at the link in the description. And like we have today, we'll play them out, we'll talk about them on the episode. And if you're not quite ready to leave us yet, we do have our Patreon with exclusive content such as Real Talk, our pre-shoot chat, Kernels of Truth, our Q&A segment, and our post-shoot live streams. You can even get involved with our free tier and participate in our post-episode discussions. They are slightly less structured and we'll try and get back to every comment. This has been an Evolved Productions podcast. Big love to all the people behind the scenes who make it happen. Our graphic designer, Bashful Cat, who makes our logo. Danny Shields, who we have all of his music for everything on the podcast. And our partner, Middlesex University, where we are right now, not in a zombie apocalypse.
No.
And a massive thank you to
We don't know that yet. It could be all kicking off outside. A
massive thank you to the students who, for our first 6 episodes, have been keeping everything going behind the scenes. From now on, we're on to a new group of interns. So thank you to everyone that has helped so far, and to all of our Patreon supporters as well. This is really literally a collective effort with everyone. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Ivan Weiss Photography, once again for supporting today's episode. If you're ready to invest in your professional portfolio with high-class headshots, use the link in the episode description with the code POPCORN15 to get 15% off. So go check out his packages and availability. So thank you, and until then, stay curious and critical, and we will see you next episode. Woo! that was crazy.